All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's doing amazing. We're back. Good. That's too funny. That's like I'm so happy about the lights. I'm so happy about the new setup, and boom, the phone just shuts off. No, Ryan, what's up, man? Let me. I don't know if you're still here, but chat. Jeez, man. Like, whatever, right? Whatever. The phone is here. I'm not gonna use the phone for light anymore, which is good, which is a good thing. I have my light here now. I'm still experimenting with setups and stuff. So I don't know if this looks this looks too blue. And this looks a bit warm. It's a nice warm feeling. I don't mind it. And this is warmer. I like this more because it's less of a pain in the eyes. I think this is maximum. Okay, this is darker and this is lighter. Let's make it the brightest. And yeah, I have like a freaking LED light behind me, but I don't have a what do you call it? Like a plug to plug it in. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to wait for the phone to charge up a little bit. Maybe not even show it on this stream. So yeah, we'll see it tomorrow. All right, for today, we are going to watch. OBS is already running. Okay. This is here. Let me grab. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to grab a panel from Chainsaw Man. One panel, one small panel, and then we're gonna draw, and then we're gonna watch the tutorial from the series that we picked yesterday. This could be fun. Makima from behind. Let's see. There you go. All right. Oops. That's too much. This is perfect. All right. Really quick, we're just gonna think about proportions, think about size. Oh, the proportion here is very important. Because, okay, let's start with the biggest shape. And the biggest, or the longest shape, I guess would be, let me actually check if y'all can hear me. Okay, perfect. I feel like we're like here. This is like a straight line, and then we're going to go with like this. And then this feels twice as long. Yeah, so if we're going this, we're going like this. So maybe we can go a little longer with the legs. And then half of this is like this here. And then almost half of this is the head. And there it is. We can go a little above. Let's do this. Right. And then from here, we're going to do this. Very straight. That's the shape. Focus on the shape. The head here is like a teardrop. It's like a, maybe like an egg even. The close drawing is so masterful in here. Every fold, everything. Perfect. Every stroke is masterful. She looks a bit wide, very wide-shouldered, but that's okay. All right, that's enough. That's enough for me. It's good. Like I said, I made it a bit wide, and I've done that. I mean, I studied the proportions on, say, what is it called? This is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis, or is it the other way around? I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, the proportions are nice. Everything is nice. But the length is a bit messy. It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. Man. The proportions are like spot on as well. I'm pretty sure that's, when drawing, that's how he measured it too. Alright, let's look at 10 minutes. Better painting.
Break out your pocket watch and your paintbrushes, because it's time for another episode of 10 Minutes to Better Painting. I'm your subservient host, Marco Bucci. As usual, let's start this thing off with a short lesson. Novel editor Sean Coyne would like to remind us that once you lose the audience, it's very difficult to get them back.
That's true. That's true. Once you lose the audience, it's very difficult to get them back. Let me get a pen and let me get a book.
And a little digging at statisticsbrain.com will tell you that the average human attention span is a whopping 8-point statistics brain to lose the audience.
Visual language. This is like basic design stuff.
It's very difficult to get them back. And a little digging at statisticsbrain.com will tell you that the average human attention span is a whopping 8.25 seconds. Just let that linger in the back of your head for now. Okay, this episode is about visual language, which falls under the topic of communication. Communication might actually be the most important topic, because after all, that's what art is. To broach the topic, let's examine what a writer does. A writer, like any human being, starts off with a bunch of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Now, those things by themselves are inaccessible to an audience. So, the writer uses their primary tool, language, to make the intangible tangible. And, if the writer's any good, the final result will contain a clear message. Now, where the writer uses verbal language, we, as painters, use visual language to communicate our message. Let's stick the word message over here, just so we don't forget it. Okay, what is this painting by John Singer Sargent about? What's the message? What is he trying to show us? Is it all these pine trees? Is it this fallen log? No, it's clearly about this guy enjoying a painting session out in the woods. He's the focal point of the picture, and that's what we'll remember about it. Here's a much busier painting by Dean Cornwell. But same question, what's the focal point? What's Cornwell's intended message? In a picture populated with people, it's the interaction of these two that stand out. This is the message. It's why Cornwell painted this picture. But how do we know that? How did Cornwell communicate to us that this painting is not actually about these baguettes? How did Sargent ensure that we looked at that painter and not get distracted by all those trees? The answer in both cases is they used contrast to help communicate their message. Now, I think many of us might think of contrast as simply being a matter of light versus dark, but that's actually only one example of contrast. Think of contrast as being equal to any kind of difference. When there's no difference in a picture, all things are rendered equally unimportant, and that's a problem when you're trying to communicate. Whereas building in a bit of contrast enhances the focal point and pretty much guarantees a clearer communication with the audience. So here are some examples of contrast. We can start with the obvious one, a light shape reading over dark. Or how about areas of high activity versus areas of low activity? How about a frame full of squares with just one circle in it? Or what about creating difference with texture versus non-texture? Here's a difference in edges, hard versus soft. How about a simple difference in the direction of a shape? And here's one where a higher degree of finish contrasts against more sketchy areas. Looking back at the Cornwell example, he's using a contrast between areas of high activity in the crowd, where no one really stands out, versus areas of lower activity to make these two stand out. There's a second contrast at play as well. Their silhouettes are the area of highest contrast.
I just realized that I'm not showing the video. Hello, Emily. What's up? Let me show you something. Hopefully the phone charged up pretty well. It's 9%. That'll work. Let me show you. Oh, no, that's too much light. Light, please. Blue, please. White. Hello? Look at that! We've got lights! I'm so happy about it. I bought them today. I know, right? I know. Oh man, I'm so excited. Hey yo, we got Joe in the chat. You know, we're blessed, right? I got a ring light in front of me too. The phone is, you know, it'll survive. Yeah, I'm very happy about it. I'm trying to get some tube lights to place by my sides here to make things more interesting. But I like the blue here. I like it very much. The green and the red look very weird. They don't look as strong. This is the green and this is the red. The red, like you can see it, it feels okay. But the blue is like the brightest. There's other shades, you know. Some blues here. We got a yellow. I don't know how, you know, a yellow is not bad. Lighting does look much better. I know, right? But yeah, I like the blue the most. Yeah. There's a mode where it starts like changing the colors. Oh wait, there's fade. There's a fade mode. I don't know if it's doing anything. I'm still experimenting with this, by the way. It's changing, right? But it's it feels a bit fast, doesn't it? Slow? Is it slower now? Oh, that's no. I think we're just gonna keep it blue for now. Yeah, just blue. All right, let's not get distracted, and I need to. Okay, the problem I think is with the camera at this point. I need to get the other webcam, I think. Maybe it'll take in the lighting information better. A period of change, meaning that he will keep changing his light settings on stream. Bro, shut up. So I'm happy about it. I spent all streams, all 250 days with no proper setup. I mean, this is an improvement, at least. This is not very well set up. I mean, I have the lights behind me, and I'm just like throwing them out there. They're not properly set up, but thinking about, you know, having them like sticking them to the edges of the room. Yeah. But yeah. Let me get back to watching the video. Is this the blue that I'm is this it? Cause the what camera am I using? I'm using the webcam of the laptop. And let me tell you, it's not as good. Okay, this feels bluer. I mean, it's alright. The quality is not that bad. With the proper lighting, I mean, it feels a little better now. But you know, it could be better. It could be better. Also, do I need a better quality camera? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe better would be good. But for now, I don't feel like it's a problem. The problem for me is lighting. Yeah, maybe a better camera. I don't need like an expensive camera. I mean, lights, I can put like some of my budget in lights because they're important. But the camera, you know, is gonna have to wait.
Dark over light, and that's how.
All right, wait. Am I showing the video? Yes. Oh, but by the way, I do have like a webcam. It's an old like 2011 webcam, Microsoft webcam. It's but it's good. It gets the job done. It's just like a tiny bit better than the laptop's webcam, built-in webcam.
Versus areas of lower activity to make these two stand out. There's a second contrast at play as well. Their silhouettes are the area of highest contrast, dark over light. And that's how effective contrast can be in communicating a focal point. So let's go ahead and add contrast and focal point to our notes. Here's a painting by...
Where's my pen? Oh no, I lost my pen. Here you go.
Focal point. So let's dark over light. And that's how effective contrast can be in communicating a focal point. So
oh, I don't know if you're able to change the ISO or aperture, but adjusting with those settings make it look better when it's darker. That's very loud. Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Aperture, I don't think I can change those on the camera. Actually, wait a minute. Would I be able to change them on OBS? Facecam properties. If it's doable, then yeah. Let's see, configure video. Okay, this is a lot of configuration that I'm not familiar with. There's, okay, it's in French. Luminosité, contraste, teinte, saturation, netteté, correction gamma, balance des blancs, compensation contre-jour. I don't think any of these parameters are either aperture or ISO. There's zoom, exposition, panoramique, inclination, pellicule, compensation, luminosité faible. Nah, that's not it. Configure crossbar? What's a crossbar? Unfortunately, no. From OBS, we can't do it. Video format. I found a vid one time of how to make a cheap camera look cinematic. I can try to find it. Be right back. Okay. That'll be helpful. Thank you. All right, let's in the meantime, let's watch the video.
So let's go ahead and add and that's how effective their silhouettes are. The area of highest contrast, dark over light. And that's how effective contrast can be in communicating a focal point. So let's go ahead and add contrast and focal point to our notes. Here's a painting by Mead Schaefer and a painting by Norman Rockwell. These are examples of another tool for visual language that I call direction. In the Mead Schaefer painting, we're directed through the picture by this elegant and simple C-curve. Every important piece of the message lies on that curve. Schaefer is also using contrast here to make sure we specifically pay attention to what these guys are doing. The Rockwell painting employs a different kind of curve. Actually, it's a series of straights that all converge at the focal point. The fact that we're then ushered out of the painting in 3 different directions amplifies the message of those kids arguing. Another cool thing about direction is the nature of the curve can support the message of the picture. Hard, straight, X-shaped lines emphasize the physical strain in this picture, while the sensual C-curve in this picture almost romanticizes the pirate's actions. Alright, so let's add the word direction here. So, we've got a nice little list of 4 tools for visual language, but one
messages first, and then we have the focal point, and then we have the contrast, and then we have the direction. The direction I feel like is just part of the direction is part of contrast, isn't it? We have got the video. Let's see.
So if you have an old camera and your footage looks and sounds like this, then you have a big problem because
Okay, we're just gonna have, we need to finish this video first, and then we'll jump on this one. But I think I've seen it. I actually think I've seen it recommended on my YouTube, recommended here, but I didn't watch it, so we'll check it out after this video.
One thing I cannot abide is a teacher who hands out a list that no one is going to remember. So I'm going to make this stick by coming up with a good abbreviation. So let's see, maybe I can start with the first letter of each word. How about doubt, clouding, future momentum? God, that's awful. Nope. How about Count Dracula finds mommy? Yeah, better, but no. Ooh, how about Ford Coppola directed movies? At least that one's true, but pass. This is hard. Let's take a short break and come back to it. Hey, remember how we only had 8.25 seconds of attention? Did you know that a goldfish has 9 seconds? Yeah, it's like the human race has been cheated. Wait, that's it! Cheated! If you show me a picture with no message, I feel cheated. So don't f***ing cheat me.
Wow.
If you cheat the audience out of a message, you'll lose them. And once you lose them, it's very hard to get them back. So don't f***ing cheat me out of a message. Implement these visual language tools and see how much more clearly your paintings communicate as a result.
Amazing.
These are sketches from Prague, one of my favorite European cities. A place just begging to be painted. And as you can see, there's no shortage of things to potentially make the painting about. So, your first job as a painter is to decide what that thing is and then proceed from there. Even a city as beautiful as Prague needs to be filtered through these tools for visual language in order to come up with a cohesive painting. So to go about painting this, I'm using the same visual language tools that I just showed you. My focal point, which should be obvious already, is those 2 buildings on the right third that are separated via a shape contrast. And by that, I mean they make one shape that is different than the smaller shapes that surround them. And the second piece of visual language I'm using is direction. I'm using a graceful C-curve via that river that
Interesting. I thought the direction was the lines that converge towards the buildings. Like here, here,
wraps right around the focal point. It gives our eye a path to follow, lending some movement to the piece, and I think C-curves are quite elegant, which happens to be perfect for Prague. And you probably noticed I established these things right away. They were the first things on the canvas. And that's really important to me. At least my most successful paintings come when I have a clear idea of what I want to say and then how I want to use these tools of visual language to say it. And then the paintbrush just flows more naturally because everything seems to then have a place, a hierarchy. I could leave this as a quick sketch, which I'm doing here, or I could take it to something very rendered and finished. But with these visual language tools at play from the start, I know my message will not change. Okay, on to the next quick sketch. I think I'm going to make this one a little more fantasy-based. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to amp up the visual language for that. So right away, that big building again is the focal point, and everything is going to lead you to that. So you see that triangle, that's water there?
I think the golden ratio is something that's like very important as well, or at least the 2/3. Placing the subject on the 2/3 is very important. Because if you place this in the middle, it's not going to be as interesting as placing it, you know, on the 2/3
that I just blocked in. That is literally a pointing device that points straight to the focal point. Also, it's very angular, which contrasts the very circular focal point. In fact, I think I'm going to try and make the foreground area more angular as a rule, which will help separate it or help it be different from the focal point. I think fantasy, by the way, is a good opportunity to audition different kinds of shapes on the canvas and really try and push the difference between circles and hard edge shapes, for example. That's what brings us into the realm of fantasy, because in real life things tend to be a little more similar rather than so starkly different. So I'll work up this area of foreground now, and when I do that, I'll make sure to make more angular shapes. You can see boxy shapes and triangular shapes. I'm really refraining myself from using circles. I really want the circles to be in the focal point. Also notice the circles are in the clouds, so anything kind of in that focal range gets circles, and then everything else will get angles. There's another subtle piece of direction happening here. The water points in and the clouds point in, and they cross right at the focal point. So that's another thing I've designed into the picture. And just to finish it off, here are 3 boats. Of course, they're angles as well because they belong to the foreground. And just like that, there's our finished sketch. Okay, let's do one more. I'll go back to a more naturalistic look to this one, and I'll make it a night shot so I can really play up some heavy contrast, leading your eye directly to those 2 buildings in the middle. And again, I worked that in very early on in the process, so I'm always building up from something simple. It's very difficult to start complex and then find simplicity. That method doesn't really work for me. Aside from the heavy contrast, notice that there's a subtle V composition here, almost as if the 2 buildings in the focal point are nestled into this valley, custom made just for them. And not only that, but this painting is also very vertical. Even though it's a horizontal composition, it's very vertical. All the buildings are pointed straight up and down. That helps lend the piece structure, which is perfect for painting buildings. And just a reminder, the audience is not meant to be aware of these tools of visual language. That's our job as artists. The audience just wants to look at a picture, very quickly be led to a focal point, and come away with a message. If that happens, you win.
Interesting.
How many times has the following scenario happened to you? Exhibit A. You start a painting and you feel great. It's going to be your best painting yet. And then time runs its course and we get Exhibit B. Now don't worry, this doesn't mean you're a failure as an artist. In my experience, this is the result of just not thinking simply enough, and therefore not effectively communicating your message. What I do is I ask myself, what's the message? What am I trying to show? And once you got that, you can make it the focal point and have everything else support it. All of us fight against a natural human tendency to overcomplicate things. But just remind yourself of the beautiful simplicity in the examples earlier. Don't feel like you've got to embed the Fibonacci sequence into your paintings just to make them work. There is one time where you absolutely have to use the Fibonacci sequence though, and it's when you're painting a picture of a cat.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Do I know this already? I feel like I do, but seeing it, you know, in action and being, you know, obviously having it explained is very interesting as well. Let's take a look at the video.
No one wants to watch a video that looks or sounds like this. And if you're blaming it on your camera, let me tell you right now, it's not the camera, it's literally just you. You don't know how to use your equipment, and you don't know how to set your camera settings properly. So in this video, I'm just going to be going through everything you need to do to make something that looks like this actually look kind of cinematic. So the first thing we need to change is the audio, because listening to audio like this is just not fun at all. And you can kind of forgive bad video if the audio is pretty decent, but it doesn't go the other way around, and I know that from personal experience. So I'm going to fix the audio right now. So as you can hear right now, the audio sounds a lot better, and all I did was I just put like a $30 shotgun microphone on top of my camera, and I went into my camera's settings and turned the audio levels down really far, almost all the way. So even if you made a video like this with pretty good audio, you'd still have a lot more people watching than if you had bad audio but good video. So the next thing I'm going to do is just clean up some junk in the background to make it less distracting and just make it look more professional overall.
Oh, I got a lot of junk in
So the next thing I'm gonna do, it also is with the background. I'm gonna turn on those two lights behind me, just as practical lights to make the background more interesting.
Practical lights, that's what they're called.
Okay, and as you can see, from cleaning up the background and adding those lights, it already looks a lot better. But the colors do seem a little bit off, so I'm gonna change the white balance to auto. You don't really have to know anything about white balance to set it properly. Setting it to auto works fine for me. Okay, so now as you can see, the white balance is set,
Wait,
the
white
background...
balance, I do have a setting that's called, sort of like it, I think, on OBS. White balance, white balance, white balance. Nope, never mind. Balance, yes, balance des blancs. Wait, let me remember this number. And if I take it, it's on auto. It's on auto already, so I don't have to do anything. Okay.
It's clean, and I added...
Oh, I see. So sometimes because the light can pick up some colors and then it'll get stuck there, but then sometimes it does pick it up again. It's not. It turns out I don't think it's the camera itself. I think it's OBS doing its job.
Some practical lights in, and it's already looking a whole lot better than it did at the beginning. So now I'm just going to take my key light that I have actually right behind this camera, and I'm going to position it to the left of me and a little bit above me, just to make it look cinematic. So what I basically...
Wait, I can do that. Wait. Let's see. How does that look? Is that good? I feel like if it's in front of me, it's better. Let's make it like this. Why? Okay, dude. It feels too yellow now. It feels too yellow and less blue. Much better? You think this is much better? It looks very yellow to me. Is this better? Y'all can tell me.
Basically just did was I moved the light to the side, which caused this triangle right here on my face, which is called Rembrandt lighting. It's a really popular lighting technique that a lot of people use in these talking head style YouTube videos. So the light I'm using is actually called the Mount Dog.
Okay, I think it's making my it's showing like how oily my skin is. I don't like that. But that it's clear. Like at least it's like clear. You can see me clearly.
Softbox lighting kit. You can find it on Amazon for like 50 bucks. Light I'm popular lighting technique that a lot of people use in these talking head style YouTube videos. So the light I'm using is actually called the Mount Dog Softbox lighting kit. You can find it on Amazon for like 50 bucks. I'll put the link in the description. But it comes with a diffuser you can put over the light. So I'm gonna do that right now because the light is really hard on my face. So now that already looks a lot better. Because the light's a lot softer, but I'm just going to take the remote that came with the light and I'm going to make the light a little warmer just because it kind of fits this setup. Okay, I'd say that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to add a light in the background. I'll be using the LumeCube 2.0. I was looking online for it the other day and I actually think they stopped selling it, but it doesn't matter. You could use any light you want to light your background. So I just set that up. It didn't really do much, but you can notice it a little bit. Okay, now you've probably been annoyed with all the grain in this video so far, so I'm going to be changing some camera settings that will add blur to the background and make it less grainy. So first of all, right now my aperture is set to f18, which means there's no light coming through the aperture and there's no blur in the background. So I'm going to turn that down, and at the same time that's going to make it way brighter, so I can turn the ISO down, which will make there be less grain. So I just turned the ISO down to 100, which is the lowest it can go on my camera, and I turned the aperture down to 3.5, which is also the lowest it can go.
If I can get there, maybe that'd be better, because you know, there's no really emphasis on me around here. It needs to be darker in the background. And maybe I can change it here. I might as well just turn it off. This is not doing much.
Go on the lens I'm using right now, but since the exposure changed from doing those things, I had to change the brightness on my key light right here. There's one more thing I need to do with camera settings before moving on, and that is turn the shutter speed down. Right now the shutter speed is at 1/100. It should be at 1/60 because I'm shooting at 30 frames per second, and your shutter should be twice your frame rate. That's just a general rule you should follow when it comes to filmmaking. So this is already coming along super well and it looks really good, but I realize I'm kind of fading into the background with this black hoodie, so I'm gonna change it. So what I did there was
Ooh, okay. I see you. I see you. I see you. This is literally what we've been talking about in the in the 10 minutes better painting video. Am I blending in the background? I think I'm fine. Maybe I can get something. Maybe if I take this off, actually, would that look better? I think so. But I'm gonna get cold.
basically just added more contrast between me and the background, because after all, that does look really cinematic, and that is why you want a blurry background anyway. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of color grading. So what you saw there, that
Color grading? Come on now.
wasn't really color grading, that was just me going to CapCut and I added the freedom filter and put it on 50% power or whatever you want to call it. So that is everything, and as you can see, this looks like way better than it did at the beginning. Like, I'm just gonna put up on the screen before and after right now. Like, the difference is insane, and all I did was I moved my key light, added a diffuser, changed some camera settings, cleaned up the background. All those things I just mentioned were free. I just needed to put in a little bit more effort and know what I was doing. The one thing on this list that technically did cost extra money that I didn't start with was the microphone on top of my camera, which is $30, and the Lume Cube 2.0 light, which is the background light right now, but that wasn't even really necessary, and I think they discontinued it anyway. Okay, so the battery of my background light actually died while I was filming, and I didn't notice until later, so yeah. So I can at least put the link to my key light and the microphone I'm using in the description. So how about you go set up for a video and apply all these things you just learned, and you're gonna be surprised the difference you can make in just like 5 to 10 minutes of changing things up. And yes, getting a better camera will make it look better, but you can do a lot with just a cheap 13-year-old camera like I'm using right now. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'm out.
Alright, that was fun. That was fun. Yeah, we'll see how we can do it. I want to see how I can do with the placement of the light behind me, because I want to get the most of it. I don't want to have it just like there and have it, you know, have no effect. Right? I want to do something with it. I want to use it properly. All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm very excited about what's coming next. When it comes to the streams and when it comes to life in general. A bit scared as well, but excited too. It's a mixture of both. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And proper YouTuber. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Thank you guys so much. Emily, thank you so much for recommending the video. It really, it already helped. Like, I placed my light there, and yeah, thank you, Emily. And Joe, thank you for being here. And you got to see the day where the streams got better. You got to see it that day, and it'll only get better from here. Trust me, Joe. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And yeah, peace out. Now the mic and the headphones? Come on. All right, peace. Honestly, look, I think I made an improvement on the sound as well. Look, I did make an improvement on the sound as well. I mean, the sound used to be very trash. Now it looks a bit, it sounds a bit better, doesn't it? I mean, come on. You gotta give me that at least. Bro, one side is not working? What do you mean? What do you mean not one side? What are you talking about? The, for the headphones? You can't be serious. Your headbuds? Ain't the bro, what the Okay, wait, let me process this for a second. Yes? Okay, yes, they are. Okay? But hold on. The mic is here. And this mic is supposed to transmit the sound, and the sound should be on both ears on your end. Isn't that how like it doesn't matter what I'm hearing here. It matters what you're hearing. How the hell do freaking headphones work? So for you, you can only hear through one ear? That's weird. Let's get back to music for a bit. Nah? Bro, come on. I mean, I can't really judge since I can only hear from one ear anyways. Because having a half-working bud is bad, you know. Okay, I just want to know, like, for you right now, can you hear through both ears, yes or no? If you can hear through both ears, I don't really care about what I hear. If for us it's fine. Okay, then that's good. Then oh, you're talking about the old one? Okay, no, this is a new one. Look. But you gotta improve yourself, bro. That's what I'm doing. But look, I used to have another one of these, and then that one got, broke, and it was very bad. And then I changed it with this, but then this broke as well. And I can hear through only one ear, but I mean, it's fine, right? It's doing better than the old one. Yeah, bro, gotta get another. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to get a proper like headphones. Like I need to better gear basically. And we're gonna get there. I mean, we got the lights, we got the key light, we got everything. We'll get there bit by bit. And yeah, okay. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And yeah. Go get him, Tiger. Thank you, bro. See you, bro. All right, goodbye, Joe. Goodbye, Emily. Bye-bye.